Right. Good day, guys, and welcome to video number 3, or when we are looking at this particular course on our safety training, and we are looking at your introduction to the Occupational Health and Safety Act. I hope you saw video number 1. Now we are doing video number 2. Right. We said now we're getting into the different sections of the Health and Safety Act, which you need to be aware of and which are very, very crucial. Section 1 of the Occupational Health and Safety Act looks at definitions. That's what we are looking at. Now, all acts in South Africa, Section 1 of every act in South Africa, whether it's the Labor Relations Act, Traffic Act, Tax Act, Public Finance Management Act, any act in South Africa, it starts off with definitions. Why are definitions important? Definitions are important and they're crucial because it's important that you define words the way the act requires or the way the act wants you to understand. Now, the way acts define words are different from the way we define words in our day-to-day speak. So it's important that from the word go, as a safety officer, the understanding of certain words should be in line with the Health and Safety Act. They are not general, but they are specifically in line with the Health and Safety Act, period. That's what we're talking about. So it's important that as a safety officer, you understand the definitions, which is Section 1. And we're going to look at a few examples. Now, the Health and Safety Act under Section 1, you'll see it has lots of definitions, lots of words. And on our e-learning platform, you'll be able to download a soft copy of the Health and Safety Act. If not, drop me a WhatsApp, drop us an email, and we'll just send you that information. But we'll send you an information pack via email, and it will also include a copy of the Health and Safety Act. Now, it's important to define the words the way the Health and Safety Act understands. And I'll give you just a few examples. Number 1, look at the word healthy. The word healthy, according to the OHSAct, it means free from illness, attributable, it says free from illness or injury attributable to occupational causes. In other words, when we say someone is healthy under the occupational health and safety arena, we are saying it's someone who does not have any illness or does not have any injury, which you can tie it to the workplace, or which you can say it has been caused by the workplace. That's what we mean. So when it comes to someone who's healthy, as long as that condition, or as long as they do not have a condition or a situation or an illness or an injury which can be attributed to the workplace or caused by the occupation, then that person is called healthy. What do we mean by that? Let's say, I'll give you an extreme example. Excuse my example. Let's say I happen to party over the weekend, and over the weekend I get to sleep around and I get an STI or an STD, right? Then come Monday morning, I go to work with my STI or my STD, and I can't even walk because of this condition which I have, right? Now, according to the Health and Safety Act, it says that I am healthy because I am free from an illness which can be attributable to occupational causes. This is the main thing that we look at, occupational causes. The question is my STI or my STD, can it be attributed to the work that I do? Has it been caused by the work that I do? Did I get it from the workplace? If I did not get it from the workplace and it cannot be attributed to the workplace, then it defines me as very, very healthy. Are we together there? Now, that is why we define words according to the Act. Number 2 example, the word premises. The word premises from the Act says it includes any building, any vehicle, any vessel, any train, or any aircraft. Now, in your own day-to-day use of the word premise we only refer to buildings, or accommodation or houses. That's what we call premises. But from the Health and Safety Act, even a vehicle is a company premise. That is why when you get involved in an accident while driving a company vehicle, we say it is an injury on duty, because a vehicle or a train or an aircraft can be defined as company premises. So it's important that when you read your learner guide, please read and understand the definitions. If there are some definitions which you don't understand, please feel free to ask me when we do our live sessions, and we'll be able to explain them to you. But it is your duty under self-study to study those definitions and get to know them. They are definitions of what the inspector is, what is a hazard, what is an accident. All of those things are defined in the Health and Safety Act under Section 1, and that's very, very important. Now, Section 2 to Section 6 of the Health and Safety Act mainly speaks about administration issues. Basically, two main things are discussed there, so we don't need to bog yourself down with Section 2 to Section 6. It's just admin work. Basically, it tells us about what is called the Health and Safety Council. Now, here I want you to understand that the Health and Safety Council, this is the council that approves and that is in charge concerning the compilation and the approval of what gets into the Occupational Health and Safety Act. The Health and Safety Council, as you read Section 2 to 6, is a committee of people made up of mainly, number 1, 6 union representatives, number 2, 6 employer representatives, number 3, a health expert, a safety expert, someone who is an expert in COIDA. I'll explain all of those things later, and someone from representing the chief inspector from the Department of Labor. So these guys, especially the 6 union reps, these are employee representatives. They represent employees, so they have been taken from unions. Maybe one person from COSATU, one from SATAU, one from NEMAU, for all these different unions. And then they took 6 representatives from employers, maybe one employer from construction center, one employer from the manufacturing industry, one employer from the let's say chemicals industry, one employer from offices. So they took different people from different sectors and areas of life, and then they put them together to form this Health and Safety Council. So these guys are the guys that approve what goes in and what goes out of the Health and Safety Act. But these guys may not be technical, the Health and Safety Council. So there is what is called a technical committee. A technical committee, these are the guys that are technical in a special area. Let's look at construction. They take guys who specialize in construction, and they are very, very technical when it comes to construction issues. They are the guys that help to come up with the construction regulations. So the technical committee is the committee that will advise the Health and Safety Council and advise what should be included and excluded in the Health and Safety Act. Basically, that's what Section 2 to 6 is about, and that's just about it. But what I want us to focus on now is Section 7 going forward. Now, Section 7 of the Health and Safety Act talks of the health and safety policy, or a safety policy. Now, every company, every organization must have what is called a health and safety policy. Now, a health and safety policy, by definition, is a statement which sets out the details as to how an organization will manage health and safety, as well as the arrangements that are in place in order to put health and safety into practice. So basically what we're saying here is that in every organization, there should be a policy statement. This policy statement must be signed by the CEO. This policy statement must be implemented. This policy statement gets to commit that as a company, we are going to comply with health and safety rules. For instance, you are a safety officer for Sibego Construction, as I've given you, or Sibego Manufacturing. So you as the safety officer, you have to facilitate that company, Sibego Construction or Sibego Manufacturing, must have a safety policy. So write that down. Every company you work for, they must have a safety policy. The safety policy must be put in the safety file. The safety policy will be put on the wall. It must be put where it says in a conspicuous area. That's what Section 7 of the Act says. Safety policy must be put in a conspicuous area, an area where it can be seen clearly and seen properly. And that's very, very important. Now, make sure that the safety policy is clear, and I will send you a copy of the safety policy as an example so that you have an idea of how it looks like. But when you read in your learner guide, you'll see that we explain about 12 things that must be included or that constitute a good safety policy. So go ahead and read that in your learner manual, and it will guide you and it will help you very, very well. Now, what I've just shared with you is Section 1 of the Act, which looks at definitions. I spoke about Section 2 to 6, which looks at admin issues. That is the Health and Safety Council as well as the Technical Committee. Then I've shared with you Section 7 of the Act, which looks at the health and safety policy. So those are the three sections which I wanted to look at in this particular section. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining me in this particular session. I'll meet you on the next session when we discuss other elements, that is Section 8 of the Act, Section 9, and Section 10 of the Act. I hope so far we're together. I hope so far it makes sense. If you've got any questions, please feel free to drop me a WhatsApp. Feel free to ask any questions. But otherwise, we're going to have a live session where we meet together and we discuss, and then we take it up from there. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining me for this particular session. Let's meet on the next video. Keep well. Bye-bye.